Alright, so what I'm going to talk about in this video is a way to use binding essences, or what I'm going to do going forward. And I'm also going to talk about the new range general and the generals that come out in the large events, e.g., um, Andre Messina, Napoleon, and then Gunther and Melisande, the pairing generals. So first off, I want to talk a little bit about my channel. Uh, for a quick second, in Genghis's most recent video uploaded an hour ago, he says the following really means a lot. Let me just play it for you. I hope the volume's not like extraordinarily loud. Let me just pause for a few seconds and give you some time to turn down your volume. It might be super loud when I click play. 3, 2, 1.
And thanks to who I believe is one of the top Evony YouTubers, maybe my favorite one to watch, Real Barb Life, also Total Toolbox, aka. Check him out. His link to his video is in the description. I also did an interview with him before. And in his video today, I was watching, and I was like, wait a minute, I gotta pause that and look. So he's a very advanced player on C6. Like he, spends a lot of money. So, anyways,
Okay, so that was great. I made a comment to his video before I even watched it. Oh, here's one more thing to talk about. They removed the Covenant Stones from the main event packs. So now there's a specific pack to get Covenant Stones. Yeah, let me cover this real quick. So I have some Covenant Stones. I have like 900, and I never bought like a certain pack to get any Covenant Stones. The pack is located in Valuable Event at the end, all the way at the end. Covenant Stone pack. Now you're going to spend 100 just to get 50 Covenant Stones. Everyone's using double downs on their purchases unless you're spending an extraordinary amount. But every general has 6 ranks. Like what I had been doing when all these new generals come out that I'm not using, I just leave one of them up, and if they had any gold attributes that were good, worth getting, I got them. That one doesn't have any. But like some of the ones I got, see Merlin. Some of the ones I got were at like the 4th rank. You can see that a little bit of march speed at the 4th rank. You'd have to spend, if you weren't going to use Merlin and you just wanted that march speed, you'd have to spend 200. You'd have to spend 200. I think Frick had something I wanted. Oh yeah, I haven't leveled up these generals. I wanted the 15% march speed, but this is before I realized the Covenant Stones weren't in the main event pack anymore. So I already did the 4 Covenants. That's 200 stones. That's two that's 200 bucks. In the future now, they were in the main event packs for a while. As you can see, I got 900. But that's only enough. That's only enough to do 3 generals fully. So once I do 3 more generals full covenants, I'm going to have to start buying that covenant package to get more covenant stones. I haven't seen anyone talk about this. This was my comment on Genghis's video. I made the comment before I watched the video. And then I was like, oh, thanks for the shout out. That's nice. But I don't know. Someone has something useful. One of these guys has something useful that I got. No, just more march speed. Well, that one's 15% though. Shouldn't have gotten any of these covenants. Shouldn't have gotten. Watch out if you haven't noticed that. I just noticed it like I got back from vacation yesterday. I noticed it sometime yesterday. So that's the pits. But now let me talk about what I want to talk about mainly in this video, because I've seen a couple of Genghis's videos recently talking about the new range general, and just I really don't even need to show him. I really don't need to even show him or compare him to anything. There's just one fact. Napoleon and Andre Messina came out best generals. They're going to be the best mounted pairing for a while still, maybe for a full year in its entirety. They just came out with Gunther and Melisande. They're going to be the best pairing siege generals for probably a year. So the next long event that's coming out in a month or two is either going to be a ground pairing or a range pairing. I'm hoping it's a range pairing. If it's a range pairing and you invest anything into this Merlin or any other range general, once that range pairing comes out, and it's going to be a great spending event where you get currency and all the main event packs. You're going to be able to buy more copies of Gilgamesh and Nordic Barbarian King and stuff like that. I'm just going to wait till then. I'm not doing anything with my attack generals other than in the pairing events when they come out with two generals. That's the only time I'm going to replace my attack generals. I'm using all my other runestones. I'm using all my other runestones on my duty generals and my sub-city generals. Like stuff I'm not going to replace for a while. I'm using all my runestones on them. These two, I need to upgrade them to different sub-city generals. Well, I'm using all my runestones on my sub-city generals and my duty officer generals. Luckily, I did not do any of the. You get the first level, the fourth runestone for free. As soon as you get these three done, I got so many of the first that it don't matter too much. I mean, it costs some gems, but I'm gonna swap the Hera. She got that 15% both ways, attack and defense, and reduces enemy range troops and siege machines attacks by 20%. That's better than my two. That's better than my 2-star Ashoka, and her specialties are better. But let me talk about runestones for attacking generals. So the binding essences are actually. So I have two generals binding right now. I think I've bound them twice already, and they're on their third binding. But I only have here. Where can I see that currency? Can I just click bind and it will show me the currency? Let me click one. Will it show me how much currency I have? No, it won't show me here. Okay, so what happens with the binding is if you cancel the binding, you get a certain amount of the currency back based off how much of the timer is left. So technically, as long as you're doing cakes sometimes and you have some binding essences, you could bind your generals. You could bind your main attack generals right before battlefield starts, right when battlefield ends, unbind them, get like, I'd have to see the exact amount, get like more than 90%. Okay, so they're right here. I have 1,000, I have 1170. Now it costs 100 to bind once. So I can only bind Melisande and Gunther 5 times each, almost 6 times each. But how many times could I bind them for just 2 hours? Like it's 14 days. If you're only binding for 2 hours and then you cancel the bind and you get amount of the 100 back based off how much of the time is left. And like it's still 14, it's like 15 days total, right? When you bind, it's like 14 days, 22 hours left. So you're going to get I'm going to have to test it this next battlefields. And if I get like 95 of the binding essences back out of 100, shit, you know what I'm going to do? What I'm going to do is I'm just going to make sure that I have 2 of each general with fully ascended full specialties. So 2 mounted, 2 range, 2 ground, 2 siege. Fully ascended, full specialties, and then I'm never going to use runestones on any attack generals ever again. I'm just going to bind them. Now, server wars 2 days, so that's going to use, you're only going to get like 80 of the bindings back, unless you bind and bind when you're online playing, unbind when you go to sleep. It depends. I wonder if you get exactly the amount back based on the time left, or it starts with like, you only get max back 90 out of 100. I don't know, but it costs a lot to do those 10 bindings. You think about the 10 bindings, like if you're doing the bindings and you have to do it 10 times each in order to get it for free, so that's 1,000. That's 1,000 of these binding essences in order to get it for free, and that's 10 times 2 weeks later, or actually it's more than 2 weeks. It's half a month. It's 15 days. So that's 10 times 15 days later. So that's 5 months later. So if you're so so if you're binding any general other than the generals that come out with the main events where it comes out with the pairing generals, those generals aren't going to be the best in their class in 5 months from then, unless they a special general coming out during those main event packs. But this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to test it. I'm going to test it one of these next battlefields, or I'm going to test it when when this is run its course in 10 days, the next time I'm going to fight with these, I'm going to bind them, and then right after the battlefields, I'm going to unbind them and look at my essences before and look at my essences after and see how many essences I get back. And because I have, as you can see, your general has to be fully ascended, fully specialty. So my Palace and my John Hunyadi are fully ascended and fully specialtied. I have So you would have to have, if you want to do that for all your attack generals, you'd have to have two, a main and an assistant. But if you never have to use runestones again, if you never have to, like, it takes so long to get those 4th runestones, like that Dragon's Battle helped a lot. Like I got 800,000 something runestones. I still need to get another. Still need to get another million runestones or something like that to finish them off. But if you never have to do the attack generals anymore, and you can get away with the binding essences, let's see, how many binding essences do you get from getting a cake? You only get a couple hundred, so you don't have any. You get 30, 80. Whoa, wait, hold on a second. It can't be only 80. Hold on a second. I missed one. I missed one. 30, 80. Oh, and another 50. So you get 100. You get 130 binding essences. So 100 binding essences is only enough to do one general for 2 weeks. You'd have to do something like 8 cakes to do it 10 times, and by the time you do it 10 times, it's half a year later, and you generally ain't top tier anymore. So I think that's what I want to try. I should have thought about it. Obviously, I've already fully bound these twice. I don't know if it's once and it says the number 2 up here while you're during your inner binding. Now you don't get the binding doesn't count if you cancel it. But if I click here, it says right here, are you sure you want to unbind? You'll receive binding essence according to the remaining binding time, and binding generally return to their original state. While this binding will not be counted as the number of bound times. Well, the number of bound times get it for free don't matter if it takes half a year to do it. God damn, especially if you don't acquire the general as soon as it comes out. But these ones, I'm telling you, that's why I'm talking about both these things at the same time. If you only change and upgrade your attack generals when they have the large events and they have the castle spending competition and they come in with generals that have a general pairing. If you only upgrade then, I think you might be able to get away with, using your binding essences just to just to max their specialties. Now I don't have two fully ascended, two fully specialized mounted generals or ranged generals. So you'd have to have both. You'd have to have both. And then, I mean, 100 binding essences, like if you only use it for 2 hours, and then you should get like 98 of the 100 back, something like that. But shit, if you get 98 for 100 back, that's good enough. 100 binding essences is good enough for 50 battlefields. Like it'll last you. Well, if you're doing 4 sets, if you're doing eight binds, right, you would lose two. Let's think about it for a second. You 8 troop types, you'd lose 2 per general, so you'd lose 16. You would lose 16 binding essences if you're binding all 8 of your generals, mains and assistants. If you got you'd have to get something like 98 of them back. You wouldn't get 99 of them back. Pretty sure 2 hours is more than 1% of, or wait, is 2 hours more than 1% of 2 weeks? No, it's less than, it's like 168 hours in a week, right? 7 times 24, 140, 168, yeah, 168 hours in a week, but it's 2 weeks. That's 300 something hours. No, 2 hours is less than 1%. Man, if you get 99 binding essences back, I gotta test it and find out. You'd only be, if you did that for all 8 generals, you'd only be losing 8 binding essences. Whew. So a 100 binding essences, which is what the cost is just to bind one general, 100 binding essences would last you for like 12 battlefields for doing all your generals. And then you would lose SVS, you have that every 2 weeks. SVS, you would lose like 20 out of 100. Yeah, 2 days out of 14 out of 15 days, you lose 20 something binding essences. Huh. I wonder what the exact number is. Maybe you only get a max back of like 90 back. Like no matter what, no matter how short the binding time is, you only get 90 back or something. I can't test it right now. If I test it right now, I'll get exactly like 2/3 back. There's probably a max cap to it to prevent people from doing it short-term durations, like just for battlefields. But if it worked that way, what that would enable you to do is put all your runestones into finishing off your subsidy generals and your good duty generals. So I'm gonna test it that time. I'm gonna test it that way, and then basically I need to get, in order to actually do it, I need to get one more mounted troop general to full. Well, I don't have to. I don't have to worry about. I got my Andre Messina full specialty, but he'd have to be fully ascended also to use him. So I don't have to worry about my mounted generals, but I do have to worry about my. I'd have to get a ranged assistant because my main ranged general Mahai is fully ascended. Mahai, he's fully ascended, full specialtied. But my assistant is not. I just haven't touched anything with my, I think I'm using Godfrey, a bullion. Well, I could just finish him off. I could finish him off so I could use him to bind. Or actually, yeah, that's what I'll do. Because I can fully send him. I got 15 copies, and this guy's actually really good. He's actually really good to use for holding a building. Like if you pair him with Freja, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna fully ascend him. I'm gonna pair him with Freja because Freja's ground, and full specialty him up so I can use him to bind to whatever, when they hopefully come up with a range pairing. I'll be able to use Mahai to bind one of them, and then I can use Godfrey to bind the other, the assistant pairing general that comes out. Hopefully they do two range generals in the next event. Might be two ground, but it shouldn't be two siege or two mounted. So then I can actually use Godfrey with those full specialties. I've found that using a range slash ground march, like if you're not going to get rallied inside of a building, or if you're in a building that can't be rallied, like the clock tower, right? For SVS wars or your own Surround, the clock tower can't be rallied. I've found that a ground slash ranged combo is really good. You know, they have to hit you. They basically have to hit you to get you out of there. If they're around the same power level of you, they have to hit you 3 times. They have to hit you with mounted and then ground and then mounted again. Or they have to hit you with ground and then mounted and then ground again to clear you out. They got to hit you at least they got to hit me 3 times. So Freja and Eldon, you can have 2 marches that way. That's my plan. I'm gonna have 2 marches that way. I'm gonna have Godfrey of Bullion and Freja, and then I'm gonna have Godfrey as main once I fully ascend him, and Freja, and then I'm gonna have Purehus, who I fully ascended as a ground general, with Eldon as the range general. So I'm gonna have 2 marches like that are ground and ranged, and then since those marches actually perform well, I've been doing a lot for a couple of months. I've just been doing one of the marches, Purehus and Freja, or Purehus and Eldon. But I'm gonna start doing 2 of the marches, and it actually, since it performs real well, and since there's a lot of civilization gear that has mixed statistics on gear, there's a whole lot of gear that has ground troops and ranged troops effects for Civs gear. So it's going to give you a lot of options on how you can like build out those building holders. You'd want to use a pure, well, for reinforcements. You could think that you'd want to use a pure march for reinforcements, but you got to be so goddamn quick. Depending on the team you're facing, you got to be so goddamn quick. First, the person has to be quick telling you, unless you're watching the battle and you can see the actual troops coming. You got to be so quick and close to send in those reinforcements, and also a lot of times, I mean, I've only been playing for 8 months, and what I do when I want to try to zero someone is I'll put up 4 rallies and then I'll launch them as in succession, one right after the other, as fast as I humanly can possibly do. So maybe having mixed troops of ground and ranged uh, would be good. I mean, usually people are hitting with siege machines and then ranged and then mounted. So a mixed ground and ranged reinforcements would perform. It would perform really good. It would perform so with the siege. It would perform good with the ranged hit because half your troops are ground, and then the mounted hit is going to come next, and it's going to perform it's going to perform, half your troops are ranged. So you would use like Ares gear and defending blazons for those marches. But I already got all my blazons are done except for my ground troop attack. All my blazons are done. I already got full defending blazon for all troops. You guys want to look at my blazon? You guys want to look at my blazons? I showed another video, but I got new subscribers recently. Oh, that's another thing I want to talk about. For those that stuck through, let me talk about what I want to talk about at the end. So yeah, I got full. So these are all my attack. Oh no, this is my attack. I haven't done ground troops yet because I don't even have a set of ground troop civ gear. So those are all. Oh no, that's defensive. Those are all my attacks. Okay, so you got justice, valor, soul. That's for monsters. Honesty. So then all my defensive sets, sacrifice. That one's full red, 15 or 20. Sacrifice, compassion. That one's full red, 15 or 20. And siege machine. That one's got 5 of them at 20. Now mounted troop, they don't have a defensive set. Okay, so my offensive PvP one is this one. That's all red. But then I even got a third blazon set for mounted. I got a third blazon set for mounted. This was my defensive set. Now it doesn't matter what set you use to make this third blazon set for mounted, since it don't have a defensive set. All you do is you start off with double defending blazons of either troop set. Double defending. Look at that one. That was pretty good. That one's pretty good too. That one ain't bad. Marching. Man, look at that. That's what happens. When I start getting attacked by people, I swap. When I'm getting rallied by people, I swap to all 4 of these defensive sets. I mean, first off, you get all these stats in the set bonus, right? You get all these stats with the set bonus, these debuffs. You get these extra debuffs, but then look how many stats I'm getting. I mean, how much ground troop attack am I getting between the 2 attack ones? So I didn't start off with double defending here, but so that's 16. That's 32% for that one. This one is 32, 45, 65. But this one actually has reinforcing ground troop attack. So if I'm using it in a building occupation, I have those stats as well. But yeah, this one's obviously leveled to 20. This one's only leveled to 15. I think these are all double defending except for that one. I've done that starting off. Yeah, they're all double defending except for that one starting off. But oh, what I want to talk about in this video is, and the reason why I started off showing what Genghis said about my video is I've only been making YouTube content for like 7 months. Evony YouTube content for like 7 months. Did that just go up by 1 while I was looking? That number changed or went down by 1. But I'm at the point where here's my plan. I'm just full disclosure. So you have this earn thing. So there's a certain point where you can apply to be partnered with YouTube and monetize your channel, which I'm not going to do. I've said this in several videos before. But the requirement is I need 73 subscribers. So if you're watching now, you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. I'd appreciate that. Now, this is my plan. Once I have 500 subscribers, and I also have made 100 videos on Evony. I'm getting close. Oh, shit. Oh, my last video was my 100th video. Oh, it's my 101st video. I thought I was in the low 90s. Oh, god damn. I should have looked at this recently. I would have said something in that video. It's my 100th video. Okay, so I have my 100 videos. So once I've been partnered. See, the thing is as soon as I hit this, they say you're eligible. But I was partnered with YouTube back in 2015. I got partnered in like 2 weeks making Diablo 3 content because millions of people were playing that game. I got videos in Diablo 3 with tens of thousands of views. I got a few with like 50,000 views or something. I got partnered in like 2 weeks. And so as soon as I hit this, I can get partnered with YouTube. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna email Aptoid. I'm gonna ask them if I can become one of their special people. Get the Aptoid codes. Get them Aptoid codes, bro. And then I'll have Aptoid codes too. Then there'll be something. Then there'll be something for you too in my video content. There might be an Aptoid code and no one else has an Aptoid code. So that's the plan. I'm gonna get these subscribers. I'm gonna email. I'm gonna email this. I'm gonna enroll. I'm gonna get partnered with YouTube, and then I'm gonna email Aptoid and tell them I made 100 videos on Evony content so far. I've just been partnered with YouTube, give them a couple screenshots, and tell them my channel's growing. They obviously see me spending a lot inside of Aptoid, and I'm gonna ask them if I could be one of their special people, man. And then I'll be special. And then I think if you get your own Aptoid codes, these other content creators, if people use your code, then they get a kickback in Aptoid, which I can use to buy more stuff in the game. But what I'd really like is because, if I do that, I'm kind of competing with the other content creators. So what I would really like is if I'm able to get some Aptoid code sometime when other people don't have Aptoid codes. It'd be nice if they spread it around a little bit, who got the Aptoid codes when. So like certain content creators got it like the first quarter of the month, then another batch of them got it the next 7 or 8 days, then next week's, then several others, the third week. It'd be nice if they did that, but that's my plan. That's what I want to do, and then I can, if I get an Aptoid code once a month, I can post it on my video, and maybe I can buy some more packs, and I'll make more content for you guys. But if you subscribe and I hit this earn thing, I'm just gonna apply to be partnered, and then you can just turn it on or you can turn it off. I'm never gonna turn it on because one thing, I live in China and there ain't no goddamn way I could cash the checks if I wanted to. Plus, who wants to watch commercials on my YouTube, especially when I got like on my YouTube in the automatic comments. Oh, I gotta reply to these guys. Hold on a second. Where was I at? In the automatic comments, no one's done this yet. No one's left a donation. But in the automatic comments, it gives you my PayPal channel if you appreciate the comment or the the content. If you want to send me a couple bucks, I gotta wait for you to donate on my PayPal. So I can't be having a way to donate on my PayPal and monetize my channel. Like, that's kind of fucked up. So I'm definitely not going to do that. This has been on my this automatic description. It's kind of below. You would actually have to click on the description. More info to see that. So most people probably don't see it. It's not on the top. But I can't be having that and people having to sit through random advertisements on my channel. So I'm not going to be monetizing my channel. There's going to be this way you can donate to me. And then if I get the Aptoid code with the subscribers, I'll get some kickback that way if people use my code. What you want to do is, you use the code from whichever content creator you like, because they get, for some codes, everybody, it's just a code for the community, and some codes give kickbacks to certain content creators. Like if it says Evony 1, 2, 3, 5, Evony 5, Evony 4, those are like kickbacks. If it's named specifically after their channel, like Genghis something, then he's getting a kickback to people using that code. But talking too much and smoking too much. But yeah, you use the code for the people you want to support. Don't just use like any code out there that you see, because a lot of these codes are getting kicked back to somebody. So that's the plan, and how I'd go about using your rune stones, which generals I would go after upgrading to. I mean, it's just not smart to go after any other general except for the general pairs that come out. It's all these generals that come out every freaking flavor of the week generals. I mean, shoot, you might you might not even need one. It was fairly easy to do people's covenants before. Get those gold attributes that are active all the time. Now you can't even get the covenant stones. You got to pay additional. You got to pay additional to get the covenant stones. It's crazy. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. I like to make a little bit longer videos now. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start making videos that like are at least 30 minutes long. I find myself listening to my own videos, and when I make short ones, I was like, man, I didn't make a long enough video. That was entertaining. I wanted to listen to myself talk more. I want to listen to myself talk more. So I think I'm gonna be making like at least like 30-minute long videos now, and I'll come up with a few things I'll jot down real quick to remind myself of what I want to talk about in the video, because I watch my you might think you watch my content. I watch my content more than anybody else. Trust me. There's some of my videos I've watched like 20 times. All right, guys. Thanks for watching.